All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this coLcast presentation. HoN Tour live from Replays today. And bringing you game number 3 in this series. PUDG taking on absolute legends. Dendi Jungldevos bringing it back 1-0 in the last game. Well, bringing it back from 1-0 in the last game to force a game number 3. I'm your casting host, Beef, and joining me, the legend returns. Phil the Thrill is here. How's it going?
Good, good. I did not catch the first game, but I was able to catch the second game. Some very interesting hero picks and definitely some interesting item choices, I believe, as the game kind of progressed. Seemed like some item updates weren't being made, but in the end, I mean, PUDG came through with a really nice victory over a pretty strong AL team.
Yeah, and AL, I mean, they had the lead. It seemed like the entire game. And the Sandwraith, I mean, you talk about Sandwraith, it's like, oh, the hardest carry in the game, the biggest name in the game, whatever you want to call him. Like, it just didn't pan out there at the end, just getting caught out of position. And that Blood Hunter was just so damn fat. It did not matter in the end. And huge Tempest ultimates, and the entire Dendi's Jungldevos team just came together to make that win happen. And let's get game 3 started.
All right, let's do it.
We're going to go on go. 3, 2, 1, go. We're at 9, 8,
Yep.
7. Good. All right, so getting into game number 3. Now, this is an elimination match. Game number 3, elimination game here. One of these teams is going to be eliminated from this cycle. The other one going to be going on to try to compete and go for that gold championship. And more importantly, they're going to be advancing back into the Diamond Division with a win in this game.
Yeah, this will be a very interesting matchup. I mean, obviously, absolute legends. I think a lot of people, when you were talking about the beginning of HoN Tour, a lot of people put these two teams specifically as being like top tier diamond contenders, and maybe not so much PUDG as far as, you know, they have some well-known players on their team. Obviously, Megabev are going to be the most well-known player over there, but, you know, they've had some level of success. Absolute Legends, on the other hand, coming from Clan Milk, as they, you know, a majority of them coming from Clan Milk, who played together during the Dream HoN tournaments. You know, a lot of people expected them to have a real high level of success here. So I think Absolute Legends not being in Diamond is already kind of surprising, and a loss here would be kind of devastating, I think, to them. You know, having to spend yet another cycle in the Gold Division.
Yeah, it's certainly not somewhere they want to be, especially picking up such a big name sponsor like Absolute Legends. They, of course, were scouted, and they're still maintaining that number 9 standing in the HoN Tour rankings. But being down here in gold, unless they were able to win that championship, if they dropped out right here, they would certainly have a big drop in that rankings. They want to make it back to Diamond. They want to retain that top dog spot so that they can keep on trying to gain those points and make it to the HoN Tour finals. But Phil, let's get on into this game. Blind Bands, Tempest, Ophelia, Warbeast, and Wild Soul. So getting rid of a whole lot of junglers there in the Blind Bands.
Yeah, there's nothing really too surprising as far as that's concerned, and I just think that as the meta kind of begins to progress out of where we saw that real stagnant stage of farming, the pseudo tri-lane, you know, where we saw complexity to really do their most work, and how hero kills and aggressiveness started to really slow down. As we're beginning to transition, I think we're going to see a lot more different types of hero lineups, because there are people who are trying to determine what the best way to win a game is right now.
Yeah, and we are definitely in that transition metagame right now. And, well, I'm looking forward to seeing some of these heroes. But a lot of people are they're tired of this jungle metagame. Even if it still is the most efficient, it is kind of boring to watch a lot of times. And so I think the players have been definitely experimenting with some different heroes. A couple of those heroes making it into the lock pool. Moon Queen, Hammerstorm, Rally, Keeper of the Forest, and Pharaoh. Rally and Hammerstorm, both of these heroes have been making an explosion back onto the scene in the last month or so. Well, Rally for the first time, but Hammer coming back.
Yeah, and especially in the role that he's being run previously, anytime you saw Hammerstorm, it was kind of in that secondary support / initiator role. Now more teams seem to be running him in the carry role, where he's actually picking up a lot of the early farm and becomes quite a dominant force once the mid-game approaches. The ultimate not being able to be purged off, that was obviously a buff that was made to him quite some time ago, probably nearly a year ago, maybe even more. And that's really become kind of a staple part of his repertoire, where you don't have to worry about the enemy team picking up a Nullfire Blade or an Electrician and suddenly being able to counter one of your most devastating spells. So, and as far as Rally is concerned, I think that he's a great mixture of heroes like obviously Deadwood and Magnus, where you can draw the correlations between those two heroes and what Rally has to offer, and the fact that you can use that compel ability on your teammates to either use it defensively or offensively just makes him a very versatile hero, and put it in the right hands, as you've seen many times from players on such a Domain of Pain. You know, I believe it's Jeppins who plays. Is it Jeppins who plays Rally for them?
Yes.
I mean, you know, you can watch him and just see how useful the hero really can be. So he's a great mixture of two kind of fan favorite heroes, and puts a lot of burst damage out. So definitely, I think he's got a great place in this metagame.
Yeah, I mean, Zai and Swindlemon's two other players, and Beacon for that matter, people that have picked him up and had success in the past. I actually cast a scrim today where Swindlebones went long lane Rally, being babysat, and hit that 600 GPM mark on Rally, just absolutely crushing complexity in that scrim. Rally, very, very strong hero, lots of potential, lots of different lanes that he can run. I've seen him solo mid, I've seen him babysat mid, I've seen him suicide, long lane babysat. You know, very, very versatile hero. And people are, like you said, they're still finding out where he goes, but finding some success as well. Now, let's take a look at these bans. A lot of carries appearing to be removed from the pool here.
Yeah. I mean, Silhouette, it seems like every once in a while there will be a big spurt where Silhouette will be used like every single game, and then she'll be banned for a while. And then she'll kind of be unbanned and unpicked for a few weeks, and then she'll go back to being picked and banned. It's just like a relentless cycle for Silhouette. Fade, on the other hand, is a hero where nobody picked her for the longest time, and then now it's like she's either picked or banned every single game. The other heroes, however, I mean, Jerazai is the only hero that really stands out there as far as being a ban, simply because a lot of teams have not been utilizing him that much, but he's definitely a very strong hero in his own right, as has been proven many, many times all throughout Heroes of New Earth history.
Yeah, and he's also a core component to a lot of cheesy strategies that teams just do not want to have to deal with, especially going into Game 3. Whenever you're in a game that has a bunch of series, there's mind games about those games. Do you go standard? Do you go cheese? If you're going to cheese, do you do it in Game 1? Do you do it in Game 2 when you're up or when you're down? When do you try to go in with that? And, you know, any kind of strategy games with series involved, it happens a lot in StarCraft, in like best of sevens. That mentality comes in. In a best of 3 here, you definitely do have to worry about Game 3. Are they going to just say, all right, we're going standard and just going to outplay you? Are they going to hit you with some kind of a crazy push lineup, or just something you've never seen before? Jerazai, definitely a component of some of those strange strategies. Not going to be seeing him just yet, though, as we already have some picks coming out here.
He's just a kind of a try-hard hero, to be honest. Like, you pick Jerazai to win games. You know what I mean? That's the only reason why you play him. It's not that he's... Like, I don't find him fun. I don't think anybody really finds Jerazai a fun hero to play. But, like, he wins games for you. So that's, you know, so you pick him up. But, okay, so anyway, off of that, going through the first couple of picks here, obviously, Mirax is... going to be the first picked hero, and that's kind of a throwback to the early tank hero days. Obviously, he's still a top tier pick, but being a first pick hero, you know, especially with a lot of these other heroes that are on the board, perhaps a little bit. I'm not going to say, I'll just say surprising.
Yeah, surprising indeed. I mean, with somebody like a Magnus already there on the board, and Miraxis being picked, you know, instead of that, who knows? I mean, there's definitely a point where you could say, hey, that's a really good hero. Pebble's being banned, though, so that makes Miraxis jump up a little bit in those standings. And, of course, with Hammerstorm, Rally, and even the Pharaoh in the lock pool, maybe don't need that initiator so far right away. Counterpick, though, by AL. They grab Bubbles, Aluna, and then with the pick number 6, they go with the Zephyr. So gonna hit PUDG with the Bird.
Yeah, well, Bird is always the word. It seems like even when the hero is not necessarily in style, he still is extremely efficient, as there was a period of time where he just wasn't picked or played at all after the tanky metagame kind of went by the wayside and the Vanguard brothers kind of took a back seat, but he still would pop up every now and again in the game and completely wreck. And obviously the most recent time where we saw him kind of had a resurgence was when TDM was running him in like a pseudo push lineup, and is extremely effective in that kind of role. So we'll see what kind of role he fills here, whether it's more of an aggressive or more of a passive late game style role. With their team set up, I think that we're going to be looking at a really strong mid game team here for them. But obviously they're going to have some late game potential.
Yeah, for sure. Now, PUDG on the other side, after that Mirax's first pick, they went into Glacius, Wretched Hag, and picking up the first pick Moon Queen here. We're in the 4th lock pick, and no one has taken Keeper of the Forest. That just blows my mind right now.
Well, Keeper is an extremely effective hero, but well, there you go. We're gonna see him this game. So it's just I think a lot of people look at him as being, obviously he's effective, but he's also a really great counter hero. Unfortunately, as far as that hero is concerned in itself, it's really a level 6 and on type of hero, as many people already know. You know, he's kind of like a walking ultimate, great push potential with the hero as well. But as far as early game aggression, there's just not too much to be had from heroes that, you know, are also jungle heroes. Even say something like, you know, maybe Warbeast would be the only other like least passive jungler before they hit level 6. But like any other hero that's going to be in the jungle, obviously you're going to be able to utilize in a more effective role prior to having your ultimate.
Yeah, you sure are, but Keeper of the Forest also up there with Tempest in terms of one of the fastest farming junglers. I suppose if you get really good spawns, and you can do it with Legionnaire as well. That's one of your favorite heroes. But, well, Keeper of the Forest...
I know a little bit about him.
I think you've played him once or twice. I think I've heard at least. I don't know if I've actually seen him play it. There you go. So, right now, we're going to figure out how these teams are actually laning, and it does appear that Petop is going to be going top on Wretched Hag. No, No, Wretched Hag has to be going, well, hold the phone. No, they are going to have to run the Suicide Hag here, then put the Moon Queen in the solo short lane bottom with the Miraxis and Glacius in the middle lane. So, Keeper will be jungling, then not playing that Suicide role. And Wretched Hag, not exactly my favorite Suicide. She certainly does she fulfills the role just like any other hero, but I think that she is a little bit better suited to somewhere where she's going to get a little bit earlier farm.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the levels are extremely important because she's got a great team fight ultimate, but at the same time, which obviously you get from a 1-versus-1 situation, and the fact that she has an escape mechanism kind of suits her for that Suicide type of role. However, I do agree with you. Hag with farm, as we've seen so many times in so many games, and as Tralfamotor loves to talk about every single time the hero is in a game, Hag is extremely versatile hero that scales very, very well late game. So having an early game start on her, having a great farm is, you know, very beneficial, and looks like they're going to actually try to do that as she's making her way down here. Now you see this Hellborn team, they tried to set up a gank here by placing that lane ward early on. Unfortunately for them, they're going to be waiting for quite a while as Hag came all the way from the top lane, and you can see they're now backing off. So Hag is going to be able to make it to the lane very safely, and, you know, even if she were to be caught out having that flash available to her, you know, perhaps she would have been able to get away anyway.
Yeah, not going to be able to get that early gank. And now Hammerstorm versus Hag down here in the bottom lane. Creepwave actually going to push into the tower, which not really going to do a whole lot right here. The push should still equalize pretty well. But Wretched Hag against the Engineer Aluna, or excuse me, the Engineer Hammerstorm, they have a lot of lockdown potential with that 2-second stun from Hammerstorm. And if he's able to do a lot of burst damage with that one, and then probably not go for the kill on the first one, but just see that Hag is below, you know, 60-70% life, they go in for a second time, they're almost assuredly going to be able to kill this Hag. So not Mega Beaver down there, the Hag in the bottom lane, gonna have to be very careful. But top lane, that's why I was talking about Mega Beaver, as he does get completely caught out of position right there. The Aluna and Zephyr able to combo and bring home the Bloodlust.
Yeah, this is kind of an unusual lane combination for them to be in the long lane. It would make more sense if it were, you know, a tri-lane where they were manning up. But in this type of situation, I just don't see this being very good for them. You know, Moon Queen, extremely short range. Aluna has great range, great auto attack animation, as well as pretty decent auto attack damage early on even. And then combine that with Zephyr, who just continues to outlast and has great damage output himself. It's going to be a rough lane here for PUDG in the top zone. The bottom lane, I think, is going to be where we're going to start seeing the most action once these heroes hit, you know, level 3, level 4.
Yeah, once they do get that level 3 and start to get the turrets in combination with the Keg and the Hammerstun, well, Hag could definitely take some serious damage, and it's also going to be about how fast Keeper of the Forest, being played by Ultimate Defend, is able to jungle. If he's able to hit level 6 by, say, 6-7 minutes in, might actually be able to come over and set up some kills before Hag starts taking too much pressure and too many deaths in the bottom lane. But already you see actually the Hammerstorm stun, the turret, and the keg being used in concert on Wretched Hag, and she's going to have to actually use her potion, which represents a majority of the regen that she still has in her inventory.
I mean, that's not such a bad thing. Obviously, like, the thing is, it's going to be really hard for this bottom lane to get a kill on Wretched Hag, regardless of how much lockdown potential they have. The fact that she's got that blink and it's only got the 2 stuns one after another, obviously the steam turret does not prevent her from being able to blink away. So I think she'll be able to survive down here. But she's really not going to be in any position to get farmed, because if she gets out of position at all, Engineer should be putting in some auto attacks to her, which will help obviously Hammerstorm be able to land, a really nice stun and combine that for damage.
Oh, Meraxis is really trying to get that kill on the Bubbles in the middle lane, but just didn't have the axes there at the end. Does interrupt the potion though with one of the axes, and nice job with that. Palace playing that one against GG Slayer in the middle lane, who normally does play the suicide rule. But top lane, actually, Moon Queen in some trouble. Trying to man up onto Zephyr. Will be able to get the kill onto Zephyr. Luna going to finish off Moon Queen, though. And yeah, Moon Queen will go down despite the use of the health potion. And now Luna going to actually man up onto Glacius right here. Couple more auto attacks and the power throw. And Glacius will go down as in the middle lane. Bubbles barely makes his escape with that Shell Surf. So action in all of these lanes, with the exception of bottom.
Like I said, it's the Luna portion of this top lane is going to be the most devastating part. Obviously, like I said, Zephyr has a lot of potential to survive and put out damage just because he's got those tornadoes and the AoE around him. But Luna's power throw is such a great ability. The fact of the fact is that it does 140 damage at level 1 if it hits the hero first. And I believe that's actually the strongest level 1 nuke in the game. It's tied with Tundra's whatever his Q is called, I can't remember. Yeah.
Oh, Hag in the bottom lane.
Which is missed damage though.
Barely escaping right there.
Yeah. Like I said, it's not going to be enough until it's going to take at least a level 5 from Hammerstorm to set up the stun. And they might be able to do it now if they both had full mana, because Engineer's got level 2 steam turret.
Yeah, might be able to.
So.
Meraxis trying to get the kill onto Bubbles once again, waiting for the Quake right here, and does have the Quake now, but a nice take cover there from Bubbles, and Bubbles is actually going to try to man up, and will get the kill onto Palace. So a huge man up there from GG Slayer, even managed to get in range with the experience. So very, very well done by the AL mid player.
That was really impressive from GG Slayer. It's funny, not necessarily related to this game, but GG Slayer is formerly GG Sucka from TotallyRad.com, and you think about a lot of these players who have come from DRD and are now part of the competitive scene: Moon Meander, Moravis, now GG Slayer. There's just been quite a few of them who have made themselves made a name for themselves here in competitive Heroes of Newerth. So I don't know, just kind of interesting to see, where a lot of people thought DRD was just like this big troll team and never really cared about competing, and none of the players were all okay, but none of them were exceptionally great. But there's they've definitely proven that they have supplied the community with quite a few strong HoN players.
Yeah, for sure. I didn't even know that Moravis was part of DRD at some point.
Yeah.
That might have been part of my history that well, I wasn't around in HoN too much. I had a couple month breaks and missed out on that at some point. Now GG Slayer in the middle lane, able to bottle up a double damage as well, and gonna be able to use that very effectively to harass Meraxis whenever he'd like to. And top lane, need to be careful. Ultimate Defend now level 6 with a mana ring. He's making his way up here and looking to drop a root on top of Zephyr and Luna. Power throw going to be used to actually harass Moon Queen right here, but Invis, Keeper of the Forest. Well, there's the Gust going to be coming in. Root does hit though, and Zephyr trying to activate those Cyclones, but he is going to be going down right here. And Luna still trying to man up, actually going to try to get the power throw, and he does. So Meisty doing big plays up there, able to turn that one around and at least trade carry for carry.
Yeah, that's a very, very nice play from Meisty. I guess that is kind of the downside of having the running in the dual lanes once again, is the fact that you know, you had Aluna that was out leveling Zephyr because Zephyr got killed, and Aluna was able to pick up the double tap, which one of the kills which she got solo experience for. And had Zephyr had that ultimate, however, that team fight could have turned, or that little skirmish up top could have been completely different.
Yeah, unfortunately not level 6 just yet, which is kind of strange because Zephyr, he normally does get those levels pretty fast, but taking another Ice Imprisonment here, just a little bit of harass, and a Moonbeam as well. So they're doing a very good job of utilizing those long-range, long-duration freezes to get some auto-attack damage in there and forcing a lot of regen out of Zephyr.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's the one hero, well, not the one hero, but one of the heroes that, you know, a little bit of harassment doesn't really phase him too much, having the ability to regenerate using the Cyclones over and over again, and the fact that there's, you know, him and Balfagor definitely are two heroes that can be kind of frustrating to have to lane against, simply because it just seems like no matter how often you auto-attack them, they never seem to drop below half health. So...
Yeah, but, that can be true sometimes.
He's playing so passively here, and a lot of that's probably because, well, with the missing call from mid, no doubt. There's now 4 heroes up here.
Oh, Meister getting caught out of position. Uses the Emerald Lightning and will be able to escape for now. Oh, never mind. There's the, well, that was a big Moonbeam. They're going to be doing a dive right here onto Zephyr. A TP coming in. That's Bubbles. Great take cover once again by GG Sucka. And, well, there's the Kelpfield going to be coming out. And there's the Hammer Toss as well. Meraxis will be going down right here. And so the AL team rallying around their carry and saying, nope, you guys are not killing him again. And in fact, gets a kill on the mid player of PUDG.
Yeah, that was a nice little turnaround. You know, looking overall at the stats, obviously the Hellborn team is doing a little bit better, considering that we're only about 10 minutes. We're only a little over 9 minutes now into the game. A 2,000 gold lead is pretty substantial, considering they have not taken down any towers. So that really shows how well they did in their lanes. You know, Zephyr, despite not having the, you know, or having a couple deaths in the laning phase, he actually has managed a very, very decent creep farm at 37-7. Now with a couple of assists and a couple hero kills, he's over 300 gold per minute, as opposed to that Moon Queen who's still sitting at 237. So overall, the Hellborn teams, they're just in a much, much better position. And we were talking about, like, early on in the picking stage about, you know, going into the mid-game, late-game. This team is definitely a mid-game team, and if you're going in with a very substantial gold and experience lead in the mid-game, this team is just going to crap all over the Legion side.
Dust coming in up there, and Moon Queen actually will go down. 3 players from the Hellborn team trying to bring her down, and, well, Meraxis saying, okay, no, he was trying to go up there and actually get the kill, but says, I don't know about that. That's a deep unknown up there.
Yeah.
Oh, he tried. He did his best, but in the end, his best was not enough. And gonna have to walk away empty-handed, just farm off the tower a little bit. And so, Keeper of the Forest is actually... He came up there to get that early gank, and has been kind of farming the opposing team's forest since then. And now gonna be making his way to the Ancients. Currently the top farmer on his team, 280 gold per minute here from Ultimate Defend.
That's just, honestly, it's just not good enough, though. I mean, at 10 minutes in, at only 280 gold per minute, you know, the only thing he's really...
Bottom lane, Hag actually getting initiated on right there, and wow! Hag tried to blink onto Engineer, but Mookie's just had the beautiful, actually, energy field, and just doing such good kiting right there. Mookie's actually survives, and Cookies gets the double tap with the Brute Strength Hammer Storm. Huge plays right there by Mookies and Cookies in the bottom lane.
I thought it was a little bit risky there at first with Mookies on Engineer trying to auto attack and at least lend some damage, simply because it was going to give Moon Queen some vision of him. But he played it extremely well, and you could really tell that the Absolute Legends, they're just on another level right now as far as their coordination in these team fights is concerned. They're really talking, and it really shows. So, you know, definitely their team fight is extremely strong. A top lane, however, Aluna in a lot of trouble. Wretched Hag will be able to pick up the kill on Aluna. Meanwhile, Zephyr is going to kind of hang back and maybe try to get a little CS, but he needs to be careful. Although, without Keeper of the Forest being there, pushing that middle lane, he probably doesn't have too much to worry about. I mean, he is a little bit below half-life and no ultimate, so...
Yeah, I think I'm a little bit ahead of you. I just paused. I'm at 56, 57, 58.
Yeah, you're a little bit ahead of me.
Okay.
Just... There you go. Like, if it's like...
There we go. Got it now.
So I'm at 5, 6,
yeah.
7. Okay.
Yeah, desynced a little bit right there. And Cookie's able to get a kill onto TJ in the bottom lane. Moon Queen's 5th death now 12 minutes into this game. And top lane, looks like Ultimate Defend wants to go on to Zephyr, but doesn't have enough damage by himself to actually bring the bird down. But like you said, I mean, AL's team fight is just, it's been phenomenal so far in this game. Their coordination is certainly there and looking good to actually carry that mid-game advantage in, like you were talking about. Moon Queen has the late game, but she's not finding any farm right now. Sub 200 gold per minute on your hard carry is not where you want to be at 12 minutes in the game.
No, but that bottom tower going down is definitely going to help her out a little bit as long as she can play this safe and not have it pushed out too much. One thing I will say is that the Hellborn or the Legion team really needs to get some better warding out for this Moon Queen. Moon Queen might be in a lot of trouble as Hammerstorm ports in. There's the follow from Engineer, and yes, she just got destroyed down that bottom lane. So, and Glacius, what are you doing? You're level 5. Go, yes. So defensive ultimate from Engineer. Perhaps not needed right there, but I guess a little better safe than sorry. And they're going to go ahead and run out. Meanwhile, the top lane, more action on Meraxis. But Zephyr, oh, no, he's still kind of hanging around. He does not have Gust up for another 2 seconds and will instead just kind of fall back as Meraxis throws a few of those axes into him, slowing him down a little bit, and may try to turn this around. Actually, power throw coming out from Aluna. No, they're going to go ahead and stop it right there. So going to kind of hang by the tower and see if he gets any support. Maybe Moon Queen come up here.
Yeah, Moon Queen, well, yeah, she is coming into the lane, but with that Moon Finale, I still don't know if they're going to have enough damage, especially with creeps around. So I don't really know what her goal is here, as a Gust is being used there by Zephyr. The axe not connecting. Second axe will, and it looks like they're going to try to commit to this. No, going to back on up in the end. And so Moon Queen just kind of wasting more time down here, or up in the top lane. Like you said, with that tower being pushed in the bottom lane, she should be free farming that. Instead, she's trying to help her team out and set up these kills. That's not her job at this point.
Yeah. And the other thing about Moon Queen is, obviously we talked about how hard she's struggling at only 160 gold per minute, 166 gold per minute. That's terrible. But the thing is, she can't, like, Hag can't give up that bottom lane because the laning phase was so bad for them that all the heroes that needed farm, they just can't find it anywhere. So now you have Moon Queen coming down here, but now Hag has to sacrifice her farm so that Moon Queen can catch up. But who would you rather have farmed up in the mid game, Hag or Moon Queen? Well, in my opinion, you probably want Hag. I mean, she's got a much better team fight ultimate, and the fact of the matter is that she just does a lot more damage through her skills early on in the game. And wow, they're gonna try to set up another gank down here.
But there's 5 heroes here from the Legion team, able to take out Moon Queen, but they're gonna pay for it. Backblast gonna connect onto Engineer right there, and Engineer most likely gonna be going down. In fact, just trying to kill some creeps before he does go down. The Root gonna be coming out on the Hammer Throw, though, and Hammer does have another Hammer Throw up in just a second here. Shellstep gonna be coming in, Slugger to see the kelp field, and Hammer Throw able to get the last hit on the Hag before he does go down. GG Slayer trying to get out of there. No Shell Surf though for another 5 seconds, and he's gonna be in some trouble here. Activates the power throw, or well, power supply, and trying to get out of there. Oh, almost finished off Meraxis, but in the end does go down to the might of the Legion team.
Meanwhile, Zephyr pressuring this tower, and Moon Queen just ports in. What the hell was Moon Queen thinking right there? Oh, is she gonna live? I don't believe so. One more auto attack should do it. Doesn't even need that. And now Glacius with 0 mana ports in as well to try and help, and she's gonna get finished off as well. So Zephyr gonna pick up a really easy double tap up here. Here comes Hag. However, she does have full health, full mana. Using that Sonar Scream, and then there goes the haunt. So Zephyr might fall here. Another TP coming in up top. No, he's just got so much sustainability as a hero. It's really ridiculous.
And incredible jukes right there. Able to use his tree eaters and his hatchet to cut down a tree and make it through right there. And Hag actually gonna get.
Oh, Hag.
Oh no, things are starting to go from bad to worse right now for.
This is gonna be a quick game. The Legion team just has nowhere to go right now. There's nothing they can do. They've lost complete map control. They farm to basically preserve their jungle. If you look at where their maps or their wards are right now on the map, they're trying to make it safe for people to jungle. But the only person who's in there right now, Moon Queen just ducked in there, but the only person who's actually in there right now is Keeper. You see his tree dogs actually doing, taking out those medium or those that easy creep camp. So they really are going to try to let Moon Queen farm this jungle up. However, she's only level 7. She's got no levels into Glaive, into multi-strike right now. And, you know, she's got 2 levels into Lunar Glow. She just can't farm creeps that fast. She can't farm this jungle that fast. This is a complete waste of time for her to be in this jungle.
Yeah, it's certainly not working out in her favor. She's actually even struggling with just some fire ogres. No regen on her, and this is worst case scenario as a Moon Queen. 17 minutes in to not be able to farm medium camps with ideal spawns. I mean, fire ogres should be easy, but like you said, she's just so far behind at this point. It's going to be insanely hard for her to catch up. But PUDG, they're going to do their best to try to maintain in this game. They do not want to get eliminated. They want to be able to advance back to Diamond and continue to fight in this gold bracket for something higher than 5th, 6th place. So they're going to stay in here. But the AL team definitely on a roll. Hammerstorm going to be making his way toward a shrunken head. Zephyr, he just had to have picked up something. In fact, the bird brings him out a firebrand. While Bubbles is actually going to be finishing up a portal key relatively soon, and damn, even Mookie's playing the engineer, going to be able to bring an item home of his own, and Bubbles just gets an easy kill up in the top lane, double damage, bringing that one home, and Hammerstorm in the bottom jungle, just. Oh man, I don't know, Phil. I don't know about this team.
There's just nothing that the Legion team can do. I mean, the lineup was all right, but they really didn't help themselves. The problem from the very beginning was sending that Moon Queen in Glacius top against Zephyr and Aluna. Like I said, Aluna's just got such great range. She's got a very strong early game nuke, and Zephyr is one of the tankiest, most sustainable heroes. You know, even in the laning phase. So there's just nothing they could do against that team. And anytime they were able to man up and actually get a kill on Zephyr, you saw Aluna able to turn it around, once getting a double tap and then another time at least finishing off Moon Queen.
Oh, so, Keeper comes in with the root right here. Engineer drops the energy field though, and a keg as somebody ports in right there. A huge turret actually doing so much work as the Moon Finale is going to be going off right here. Hammerstorm taking a lot of damage, trying to juke, will not be able to get away. The Matrix finishes him off. And, well, Zephyr coming on in right now. He says, you guys aren't getting away from me. Gust right there on the Moon Queen. A bad Gust, though. And there was another engagement coming up here as Palace does actually get the kill. And Glacier is going to try to get out of here and will be able to successfully get out. So King Plato letting a couple easy kills slip through his grasp as Cookies expresses his displeasure with his teammate.
Yeah. I mean, what are you going to do?
What are you going to do? Exactly. What are you going to do, though? So, tower does go down, and in the end, I mean, Legion team got something out of that. They were able to get a couple of kills, and better than nothing team fight. Their tower does go down, though, and lose more map control. Their jungle now completely exposed for Zephyr to just take it over.
Yeah. I mean, it's really an easy story to tell if you pull up the goal per minute or the experience per minute, in fact, chart. But I mean, you got the hero that you want to be doing, the two heroes you want to be doing the best are Wretched Hag and Moon Queen, and they are both under 150 gold per minute. Moon Queen's at 153. Like, when Glacius is out farming your Wretched Hag...
There's a kelp field coming out right here. There's the Quake coming in from Meraxes, and the Typhoon going to be activated. Moon Queen going to go down in the middle of this Shell Surf, going to do some damage to Meraxes, but the Matrix shield keeping him alive for now, and it looks like that's going to be the end of it. Hellborn doesn't want anything more to deal with the tanky guy.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's like I said, you got 130 gold per minute. Wretched Hag being out farmed by Glacius. Like, what are you going to do? Like, what can you even say about that? That's acceptable.
That your Hag and your
that's legal to say on the internet, even.
Yeah, I don't know. When you're below the Glacius, like, not even like the other team's Glacius, but your own team that's losing, your Glacius is out farming you, like, that's bad.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Bad is an understatement. It's, no, I mean, it's just, it's got to be so rough for, especially for Moon Queen and Hag right now. They just got to be feeling so completely useless. And I mean, there's been a lot of times, I mean, even in TMM games where you just feel like what the hell am I even doing? Like, I'm not contributing anything to to this. I just want to stop.
Yeah.
That's got to be how they're feeling right now, because
this is a rage quit situation for me
right,
and TMM for sure.
right now I'm saying like, F you team, for making me continue to play this stupid game.
Yeah, but like I said, I mean, it's an elimination match, and PUDG, right now the number 14 ranked team in HoN Tour, they do not want to give up right here, as there's another kill going to be happening on the Moon Queen, breaking the kelp field in the turret to finish him off. Mookies grabs his second kill of the game, and Moon Queen accumulates her 10th death in 22 minutes. It's not so good of a day.
No.
Right now, if you're TJ,
Not
he
at
had
all.
an incredible game in the last game on Pebbles. But this time, just getting shut down early, and they just will not stop killing him.
The thing is that I don't really attribute it to them getting outplayed. Like it came down to the early game lane setup, and the lanes were just weak overall. They were weaker than their counterparts. I don't think that they did anything necessarily wrong. I don't think that they could have done anything better. I do think the warding could have been a little bit better when they still had an opportunity to come back, and I think that they could have made a lane swap early on in the game. But aside from those kinds of things that were like more hindsight than anything, I don't see that. I think they just completely got out-drafted here.
Zephyr getting initiated on right here. He mans up, though. He's actually just going to straight up Killkeeper in the forest. And Mirax is trying to TP on out of there. There's the mines killing Glacius as well. I'm sorry, I'm losing it here for a second, because Zephyr was just like, I don't care that you guys are attacking me. I'm going to kill them. Glacius comes over to try to help, just walks through a minefield. And, oh, PUDG, it's time to raise the white flag.
The worst part about that is that it's right next to that ward. Like, they sat there watching him place mine after mine after mine. And then Glacius just is like, I'll walk over these things. I mean...
Mega Beaver, we're going to need to have a talk. If you're having suicidal tendencies, there's people you can talk to about this. You don't have to walk through a minefield. Life is worth living. Oh, man. Top lane, the last tower, going to be looking like it's going to get pushed here. And PUDG looking to end this game, looking to put, or excuse me, AL looking to end this game and put PUDG out of their misery. And Hammerstorm leading the charge with the shrunken heads. The GG well playeds are coming out. And, well, that's actually going to do it right there. Don't even need to finish it. PUDG just concedes the game and saying, we are so far behind. Yeah, they were.
Oh, that's 24 minutes in. 22,000 experience, or 22,000 gold, 17,500 experience. That's, yeah, that's not just behind.
That is not just behind, indeed. Well, that's going to do it for the series. Congratulations to Absolute Legends. Even
So who do they play next?
They're going to be playing the loser of DMSN versus We Are Spies.
Oh, that'll be a good game.
Yeah, that's going to be coming up tomorrow. So might be looking at that one. Wait, hold on. I could be wrong about that. Let me actually look that up while we close this one out. So they are going to be advancing back into the Diamond Division. So that's going to be great for them. And I need to look at this bracket. They actually play SDS. So that's a team that I've actually played against before. And they're all right.
Smackdown syndrome.
Yeah, but Absolute Legends, I'd say, is the vast favorite to actually take the series over SDS.
I'm trying to think. Last time SDS won anything was probably one of the Insomnia lands back before any good teams participated. They did, I think, place in top 15 in the Gosu Gamers World Cup. It's been a long time. So
yeah,
but they're all great guys.
Yeah, nice guys over there, and a lot of SBT players. I know that. And so then they will be facing the loser from Another Dimension, We Are Spies. So winner of that game goes on to the losers finals. And, well, we'll be taking care of all of that over the next couple of days and the weekend. But, Phil, that's going to do it for this series. Thank you for joining me for game number 3.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, we're going to be going on. I'm going to be doing a one game from the Soundblaster Heroes League tonight before we wrap it on up. But, Phil, I'll let you go. Once again, thanks for being here. And any shout-outs before we shut this series down?
Shout out to the community who still loves me oh so much, even though I'm fallen from grace.
I think you're all still there in our hearts S2 Phil forever.
Well, and Twitch won't fucking change my name, so.
All right, well, Phil, take it easy then, and we'll see you around.
See ya.
All right, guys, that has been HoN Tour Live, brought to you by coLcast from Replays. So, I might need to change the name from HoN Tour Live. I like that name a lot, but casting a lot of replays here for this week of gold. Normally, it's live. So, I don't want to call it HoN Tour Replays, though, because that would be kind of stupid sounding. Guys, that's going to do it for this series. Like I said, one game for the Sound Blaster Heroes League. Round 3 of qualifier number 4 going to be coming up next. Immediately after that, we'll be closing out the stream with a giveaway. Sound Blaster Creative Rage Wireless Headset, courtesy of Sound Blaster and the SBHL. Going to be coming up after that game. So, guys, don't go anywhere. This is coLcast with Beef, and we'll be right back.